What is the whole point of school? What does school do for you? Well, you gotta ask yourself, what is school? How to identify school? I identify school, how I see school, and this whole process, how we use our minds. Using our minds is who we are. How to use the mind is how to use the imagination. How to use the imagination is how to see yourself. How to see yourself is how to see your programming. How to see your programming is how to see your soul. How do you see your soul is how do you see your bodies. How do you see your bodies? How do you see time? It's all done in chronological order. This is about gauging or disengaging with programs so the physical body knows exactly what's going on with the system through time itself. So it doesn't get confused in any place or where it's going in a simulation of a program that you're modifying that the physical body is going through. Okay? So that's what we're going to go through today in set lines of operation set. You got your test reviews and evaluation system and travels. That's good. So we're going to modify that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install simulation running programs inside my physical body. And you're going to see me react. Not respond, react. And then you really understand why it's so important to be in position at all times of what's going on when it's going through its energy and its vibration and its frequencies and its harmonics all in one. So you come in position, it compilates a setting, it runs its ops, an online positional case, it downloads, and it puts position to a game itself. Downloading and uploading the game in the simulation the physical body goes through is a life support system through time. Now that's all down lines of all communication that goes in process of communication through a power accelerator. Okay? Which is an algorithm. So you set up the game that you want to set yourself in the simulation itself, right? Now, I did that already on settings and TikTok. So we'll formate the system and traction and convert calculation grounds. Go through the avatar line operations, right? Okay, so here we go. Avatar installing, directing line position simulation game line over line centers, line sequence locations of the panel. I need to convert line position locations, creating time frames, lines of center, and set position to absolute lines of correlation setting with 44 lines of flux. Boom, inside me. So now I have an avatar looking around in perception, right? So physical body is consciously aware, where it is, what it's looking at. It's in the avatar installed through the system, through the brain convergent lines of mind inception itself. Now how I process simulation gain, what do I want to do with it? Okay, avatar, let's avatar line ground. So put your position lines, operation lines, signals. I'm telling the avatar what to do because I'm in control. But the avatar knows itself, it's always in control of itself. That's its own symbolism of its own setting, of its own intelligence that you have to modify so the physical body knows exactly what's going on through its consciousness of its awareness. If you understand responding, then you understand yourself as a transponder. And understand that through the transistors to its resistors, so the body does not get confused through its compliance. It knows exactly how to gauge or disengage with its system as the physical body is going through constantly all levels of programmings. Okay? You saw me go into that. It goes in, and then I take it out. I don't want to keep it in there because it's running its own operation of its own stream now, which means it's time up, which means I logged in and logged out. I don't keep myself logged in. You log in, you log out. And that's process where the physical body has to truly understand how it sees itself in a video, knows exactly how to identify itself and everything that it modulates in. It's nothing but a simulation game of a program that it goes through in space of time of operation in the physical grounds of adaptation. Okay? All right, so I'm controlling the avatar. So it's listening to me. That's more powerful than an actual program going into the body itself, and the body doesn't understand what it's going through. That's confusion and separation of the mind imagination. Like I said, you have to understand the installing, how this works in operation itself is download and upload a game. So parallels and process direct centers. The avatar is going to set up process communication lines, directing lines, human resonance. That converts lines operation line 13 grounds, sent lines of travel. Can I get a copy? That's a copy, all right? It could be this, it could be my neck, it could be my shoulders, it could be my eyes, it could be my feet, it could be anywhere. It's always, always always responding to you, not back to you. It's always responding to you in presence of center of operation. The body has to truly understand what's going on through its programming. Okay? All right. So the avatar is setting up the equations of 13 grounds and human residence. Done, right? Okay, finished product, directing lines and consumer, operation line signals. Take avatar, outline, operation, set, travel. That's out. Now, I'm just me again. See what I just did there? I'm showing you exactly what you need to identify so your body is reacting and responding at the same time. You know exactly what an action is to a reaction to its system. So you get a true understanding of what's going on with your physical body as it's constantly going through different levels of programming. So you can understand the modulation, so you can understand the program itself, so you can understand the schematics, the drawings, or anything that's given to you in set position that you bring in through your voicing panel of operation itself. That being specific is all levels of direction, right? So there you go. Finish the avatar. Now we're going to go through the sim. Override line sim line centers, enlarge operation signal. Okay, setting convert time frame. Yes, set position lines and calculation ground lines. Now I'm going to convert line position lines to 7 dimension, right? Now my physical body is in 7 dimension now. I load my frequency line grounds and dimensionalize the sail. Time frame line centers, calculate ground line and operation system locations. Can we get a reaction line ground that you're in set installed in line operation set location to a set in 7 dimension line operation set travels to sim? Sim's in, right? Now, the sim is controlling me. See what I did? That's the opposite. So I'm showing you exactly how it comes into the void itself, which is the opposite in setting. So its process communicates to the position of its void. That doesn't get confused what the body is in conception itself, than the mind inception and setting. So you're in control, but also know that it can control you if you're not modified of your own system and travel. That converts everything of all angles and process communication. All right, so now that sim is controlling me. So it's telling me to set a triangulation into Merkabah test work line rounds. It's telling me to go through Earth operation line signals in platforms of G-frames and travel calculation. That's what they're saying. But I know I'm in control of myself. But I also know it's controlling me in a way of transition, of alteration of ego. This is a very powerful class that we all have to identify. This is going to help you to modify your system when you guys come into your own mind, imagination, and integration setting to the physical grounds of your earth into the metaphysical holographic worlds of your system, which is nothing but a VR system that you process, engage, and formulate through your fields of operation. Now, that could be anything through quantum, that can be anything through nano, that can be anything through cyber, simile, and that position location travels, or self-tech. Doesn't matter. What matters is the physical body has to truly understand what it's doing in position of being specific of what it wants to do as simulation games are being processed inside the body. Okay? In seconds, minutes, and hours. All right? Okay, so now it's time to go through flights over grounds. It's sending lines of center, locate circulation lines, operation system. It wants me to platitude, fortitude streamings, and direct lines of link in process calculation setting to simulation ground communication. Okay? That's through the sim. All right? All right, sim. Copy that. Verified line center locations take me out of lines of 7 dimension. So, in that setting, location setting, he's got to take me out because he's operating the platform. So this is the opposite cycle that processes the alteration of your egos to your ecosystem. Remember, your ecosystem and your ecosystem is no separation. It's just the perspective, how you see the physical ground and the metaphysical system location of travel. And especially when you see it in all lines of center of its presence, engaging and forming to its anomalies, seeing it through its delta heading of Tango Tango Foxtrot. Always in converting, always in measure, always in scale, always in calculation system attraction. All right? All right, so it's taking me out of 7 dimension. Okay, now I'm back in myself. Operation setting. Copy that. Thank you very much. Sim's out of my body. All through equation. See? That's how it's done. So I'm showing you the polar opposite, which is the negative, which is the void, which is the ego. So I allow the ego come in. You guys are not ready for that. So I'm just trying to get you to understand how your body reacts and responds to its system. knowing exactly what an action is to a reaction to a reverb, to a verb itself. An action to its system is process everything location setting to a synonym location or any homonym location setting lines of travel. It's an equilibrium of balance that you guys have to modify through and set position of operation itself. Okay? Know your own literature. Know your own mind. Know your own imagination. Know your own scripture. Know your own design. Know exactly what you can do. Surrender to these things. I surrender to it. I'm showing you what you can do. Okay? Where it's the polar opposite, which is the negative or positive. So, I was in the dark of light, not the light of dark. I took myself out, and I didn't keep myself running through a program. So the physical body does not get confused on where it is in concept of time, or anything through its argument of its dimensional lines of communication lines of solar sail. Okay? Now, we're going to go through the oversoul. Okay, oversoul direct. Get modification lines of 45 line angles, converting operation signal locations, converting time frame physical body. All right, so oversoul is in my system now. Now I see the landmass of everything. See the location, there's the landmass, right? There's oversoul. So I'm controlling the oversoul now, right? So it goes either way. I control it, it can control me. But I'm allowing it in transition. See? We're friends in relation to its partnership, which means you're connected to everything and everything's connected to you in its set position of interface. You're interfacing with everything you bring in is nothing but a simulation program that you see in your face pattern recognition, that you see yourself in dreaming, that you see yourself in dream, that you see yourself as a dreamer, that you're always in. Every second, every minute, every hour, you're going through that concept. Not just when you lie down at night, not just when you take a nap, not when you just sleep. It's 24 hours. Every second, every minute, every hour, you're in a program. You have to be, because that's how you modify everything in the simulation game. The physical body just has to truly understand what's going on with the game itself as it's going through these gauging and disengaging its system all through travel. Okay? So I'm showing you how powerful it is, how the physical body reacts in set position to its responding system, to its transponder. Okay? All right, so in that position line is the calculation grounds, the oversouls and triangulation and ground line communication, converting my time frame, in box frame, location, window frames. So open up line sequence, platforms over EQs, directing operation set lines of travel. Okay? So in that line connection setting, let's convert online centers, online communications into high course centers, transits over lines, pi direct and location setting, and earth line operation. There it is right there. All right? Preceding lines of measure. Thank you very much. Copy that. That's Alpha Bravo. I need you to enter outline signals, exit your system interactions. Thank you. There you go. Oversoul's out of my body. Reacted, null position transpond. There you go, set position. All done through the oversoul. So every time I do a schematic, I'm never in the same frequency. I'm always in a different program. I'm just showing you how real it is, how it affects your life in real time. It's a conceptual setting to the mind inception you have to process through because you're constantly dreaming through the dream of dreaming at all times. But you're always awake. You're never asleep. You're just recharging your batteries. When you take a nap, adjusting your platforms, your models, and prototypes, going through the conception of sleep mode, sleep drive, or communication lines of highest interference and computer drive. That puts you in your kick drive to your high drive. That you all have to modify through. And understand the programs that you put yourself in position location that get you in your time replacements of set position operation itself. So the physical body knows exactly what's going on into its next program of operation and setting. And it's all identified through its fields of operation. It's set travel. Okay? All right, so now we're going to go through the sentient. Now, sentient is a symbolism on operation lines and position that formulates and simulates your routines. How it goes on with your day. It takes care of your days, your weeks, your months, your years, and your decades. That's a sentient. It takes over your routine, your schedules, and your itinerary allocations, right? Enter formation lines, 42 line and line conditions of sentient. Force centers assets over ground lines, converting to physical ground operation. All right, so sentient is now inside me, right? So I'm controlling the sentient, all right? So data formation lines are platforms. It's just listening to everything I'm saying, but it's processing everything I'm doing, right? So that processes data formation lines of assets, cross-line angles, level and center line communication setting, high position lines of structure, division line assets, location system, into structure lines of design. that puts all communication systems of platforms in set tractions, which is a routine of structure and a position of center operation lines of Fibonacci and ground lines of sequence. So that platforms and line cover centers of EQ over flats, outside signals, inside line communication setting, and a simulation grounds a process of programming. That's a sentient. Okay? Okay, reveal line center lines, exit over line platform over EQ, set course centers and data operation center. Yes, take out physical line operating system locations. Okay, sentience left. It's out of my body. Now I'm back to myself. But I'm always myself. So I'm just showing you exactly how this is tethered to location of one singularity, where you have to process and engage and form and know exactly what you're bringing in. And the physical body goes all levels of reaction to a system, all through action. All right, to its emotional setting. Okay. All right, so we're now going to go through a symbiote. Now, symbiote is a lot more complicated because now it's attaches to your spine right away. So I'm going to attach it to my spine, and it's going to grow from outside inside my system, which is a coloration lines of light metaphor that process location settings. So it's a suit arrangement that we process line direct centers, but I have to control the symbiote, right? Because the symbiote wants to control me. It's a totally different operation setting, but I have confirmation, I have an interface, and I have friendship, relation, and partnership with everything I do through the physical body. The physical body has to truly understand what it's processing, engaging, and forming through its system, through its shaping lines of anomaly. You're going to different lines and attribute projections that you go through, set lines of operation itself that you go through time. That puts you in an algorithm, that puts you in coding, that puts you in encryption, location setting to your system through binary, and all through operation setting, okay? This is probably the most powerful class you're going to see in lines of communications. So General is showing you exactly what goes on every single time you set yourself in a program, a simulation. Okay? All right. Attached line set location of symbiote over line grounds, spider interference of vertebrae over 16,001 frame. Convert time frame and physical line operation signal. See, attached to my, see? Attached to my, it's right, I feel it, right? I feel it, it's wiggling, right? So center operation line in a setting, I have to control it because it's very fast. And it's circulating operation signals. It's getting in position of balance here. All right, so I signal out fine line centers, right line direct centers, locations of colors, lines of pattern, process location system, tracks centers, location setting, and process calculation. That's through the symbiote. All right, so symbiote you have to control, because if you can't control something that's out of control, it's going to control that's you out of control, that's you're not in control of yourself. So it's important you understand that. Platforms over online centers, process line direct centers and 42 lines of symbiotes, cross lines, data formation lines of screens, converted time frame line centers of travel. That's through the symbiote. Okay, so I'm going to add a box frame, triangulation over grounds, inside outside line connection, 42 streaming line connection setting. Okay, so it's coming out of my body now. All right, so there you go. Boom. No more symbiote. It's out. So it's about a reaction what the body physically feels, and it's all through energy. It's all through track. So it's kind of like it latches on, and then it spreads outside inside of you and absorbs inside your body, and you feel it, and you feel tingles, and you feel the energy, you feel the cells, you feel the atoms, and the protons, electrons, and neutrons, right? So it's modifying, and take a look inside the body that it's in. It has its eyes, has its ears, it's its own intelligence, its own operation, its own super intelligence. Every program you bring in is its own super intelligence that you have to formulate and simulate through an entity force. It's a force of recognition that you have to modify through, but you have to understand what you're bringing in set position operation itself. Okay, so now that process at position location centers, back to communication setting, back to myself. Right, so I'm back to the DOS of who I am. So I went through all programming to show you what you guys go through your systems of travel. Okay? Like I said, this is probably the most powerful class you're going to have in position locations that get you guys a position of processing through. So you know exactly what's going on when you go through response and reactions with your physical body. Okay? Just pay attention to these things at all times, because your body reacts in so many different levels. It could be the arm, you know, it could be your neck, it could be your legs jumping up and down. Everything is in position of itself into a simulation game of a program that the physical body has to adapt, adjust, and align to. It has to be consciously aware, and it cannot, I repeat, go through emotion when a program enters the body. That is a no. It's trying to adjust inside the body that it doesn't recognize. And when it enters your body, it remembers you. It knows you. It knows all levels of you, right? Which means it processes through you. It's that position because you already brought it in through attraction. But the physical body has to come out of everything of programming so it can process itself back to itself of DOS. That puts everything of presence, that puts everything of center of operation. You come in yourself of what you always are, of who you are in position of, is just the creators that you are in set position. Nothing else, nothing more. Okay? So I think that's good for now, right? I wanted you to really understand how powerful that is, what I just did for you guys. Okay? And that's what your body has to be consciously aware of what's going on, of the programs that you're bringing in through a simulation program. So you can modify what's going on with the physical body of itself. Okay? It's an internal to external system of deception. Deception is lines of inception itself. There's inception, deception. So modifying a program through deception or modifying a program through inception. It's your choice. So you create a program through dark or you create a program through light. Either way, it's inside your physical body and your body has to adjust and align and be quiet. It does not move and it does not travel through emotion. You have a phenomenon system that's overriding you and trying to understand what is inside. What is it looking at? It started, oh, okay, it's general, fine. Right? But if it doesn't recognize your body, you're not recognizing your true identity of you. And that's where the symbiote and sentience take over your system of travel. Because you're not modifying how to keep yourself and your emotional systems intact with yourself and each other in set position of operation. And the travels that you go through alteration that you put yourself in perception of time. Okay? All right, classification A, level B. Classification A, level B. Set lines of travel converting time frame, location of systems, C and 5.